Hi guys, welcome to the Road to 2000 series in which I'm trying to climb up the rating ladder on chess.com. Today, we're trying to hit 1950, a new all-time high if I win this game. So let's get straight into it. Here we have a Caro-Kann. They just take the exchange Caro, and it helps white get out of a lot of the sort of theory. So I just develop pinning this knight, and the only weird move they've played is this. Like trying to clamp down on the center, but in a 10-minute game, I try not to think about these slight weird moves in the opening because it's just, I don't know, it's not going to be worth the time trying to counter this sort of thing. You're better off just developing. So I know my opponent at this point has used like 13 seconds, so they're blitzing out opening moves. And in these situations, I think it's good to just create really simple threats that are like a bit unusual. So the move here, queen here, targeting this pawn, setting up a battery against the pawn. It's just very strange in this opening. So I guess they should have played like this, but my opponent just blitzing out moves plays bishop out, and I win a cheeky pawn here in the opening, which psychologically is a big win. Big win because I'm going into a winning end game, and my opponent now has all the pressure on them to play aggressively. So they throw in this capture, which I don't really mind, and then develop the queen. Now, I sort of thought that I could take here and then come back here. But I think what I should have done is just taken. But then knight takes. I was thinking that this is pinned, so I can do this. But then it's a weird thing where his queen's hanging and my queen's hanging. So this wasn't the most accurate move. I was plus 2 for black here, or minus 2. And after taking, it returns to sort of equality. Because they have this move. And if I give away my queen, I win their queen. So I'm up a pawn here. And I've given away a rook for 2 pieces, which isn't the easiest position to play. And the engine actually says here that white's winning. It recommends just playing like knight round and probably going after this. But yeah, they come pin, well, try attack the knight, and I just start creating some threats. The engine says this is a complete miss playing this move. I should go back. So the engine's really worried about something here. I don't know if it's the damaged structure or what. I really didn't care if my structure got damaged in this position. It allows e5, it allows rook over to target the pawn. I thought it was fine. So anyway, they defend this square. I castle, they take, damage at the structure. And now I'm very cautious about playing moves like this, just committing the structure, especially against knights. Against the bishop, maybe. But against the knight, they're always going to manage to maneuver around and find the hole in your position. So in this case, they don't even have to maneuver, they just jump straight in. They can even go in here. And then this, So got to be really careful about which pawns I'm pushing. So I actually lift the king to defend this square. And then they start improving their king. I kick this knight because it's sort of looming in my territory. They go back. And then I start thinking about bringing the rooks to the open lines. They defend with this rook, and I'm starting to think there might be some alignment issue here with if they take, I take. And I could win a rook there. Obviously, knight defends here. But that is a slight win for me. If I get their knight on the edge of the board, it's very minor, but... so I just start to try and double the rooks. He kicks my rook, I come back. This move is sort of irrelevant, allowing me to just keep doubling up. They take, I take, and they come back defending this pawn. So they're very passive now, and it screams for this to be played. And if they take, I win the rook. Now, when you're pushing outside pawns trying to chip at their structure, you've always got to beware, can they just push forward? Because if so, this G pawn might be better than the H pawn. So yeah, you've got to be wary of that. So this, and they lodge it in. So I played this move first, I think, to stop this move ever coming. The engine doesn't like it. The engine likes going straight for it. Okay. What? And then if this, then this maybe? So just the opposite move order, but same idea. I do it this way around, then chip at the pawn. They jump in, I move. And now I just win a pawn, guys. And this should be winning if I can connect these pawns up. But they've got a lot of pressure on it and they're going to try and win it. So I first kick the knight. They throw in a check, but it's not a very good check because it just allows me to improve my king. So they come back. And then I lodge it in here, this pawn. And if takes, yeah. So they can't take here. They come here, and I'm thinking, is there some alignment issue between king and knight? And can I maybe start improving my king? I'm thinking about e5. I'm thinking about maybe this at some point. But I throw in the check first, and then I just think, well, let's try advance. Because I see there could be a lot of good stuff comes out of this. If this and they just go back, I connect the pawns and should win. And if they take the pawn, I see the knight is then pinned. So if rook takes, I just take. In fact, here, if rook takes... No, I take with check, right? Yeah. And then take the rook, and it completely wins. So I saw knight takes was the only move they could look at, but then I saw I had this, which looks crushing now. They try rook over, lining up some pressure on my king, and I just take their knight. So they try to get a little bit of counterplay, but I see this square, they have no more checks. They come back. I threaten to take the knight because if takes, then I win the rook. So they come back. I just protect and attack and start pressuring some stuff. They sack. I think maybe they're going for a stalemate or something at this point, and I managed to clean up, guys, and hit my all-time high. Or it got a bit messy. Hit my all-time high of 1950. Thank you for joining me on my journey. I mean, yeah, this just got like a ladder mate at the end, trying to push this pawn as well. But yeah, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments, what sort of videos do you prefer? Do you prefer the ones where I'm talking it through like this after the fact or live? Yeah, so I managed to just push this pawn and there's a lot of moves, but yeah, eventually promoted. So yeah, see you next time. Cheers.